He's a free agent, really, so he can come or go. But I don't see that as being his last match.
And that's the thing. I don't see that being his last match either. Big Show has earned enough respect, and he has enough respect from Vince McMahon that he will have a match at a pay-per-view, and that will be what. And you'll know it's his last match.
Yeah.
He'll say goodbye to the fans, and I think that's what they're going to wait for the fans to be there.
Yeah.
Number 3.
I got Superfly, Jimmy Snuka. I can't do that. My fingers are arthritis. But yeah, he was another one to come in and had a lot of battles with Piper. They went around and always loved it when he come off the top rope and you knew what was coming. I mean, you knew it was coming, and you just got excited and got pumped up because you knew it was coming. And of course now his daughter is into the wrestling business. I know this is about men, but his daughter's into the wrestling business as well. Same as Ric Flair.
Tamina Snuka.
Yeah.
A lot of people may not know that Tamina is Jimmy Superfly's daughter, and it's kind of unfortunate for her. She's had so many injuries in her career that she hasn't had the career that I think she hoped for.
Yeah, but when you watch her, you can see a lot of her dad's moves that he did when he was in the ring. Same way with Charlotte. If you watch her, you see a lot of Rick's mannerisms and things. So it's...
My number 3 is none other than the shirt I'm wearing right now. It's "You Can't See Me," Mr. John Cena. And why is he now? I'm getting into this Mount Rushmore thing, and the reason is John Cena, to see how John Cena has come, love him or hate him, because there's a lot of people that love him, there's a lot of people that hate him. To see how he has impacted the wrestling industry. He is kind of like the forefront, the spearhead that made it into more of a PG era type of thing, because when he made his character from the Doctor of Thugonomics,
right,
he was watching the fans and telling that they was getting younger, and that he knew that it was time for a more PG era to arrive. And that's kind of, and you know what? And to be a 16-time world champion, tied with Ric Flair, and to have the opportunity, because WWE wanted him to break Ric Flair's record, for him to have the respect to say, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
And I wouldn't be against him doing that, because if anybody could do it, it's him. And I get it, though, why he doesn't want to do it, and I understand the logic behind it. And Ric Flair is all for it as well. Ric Flair said he has no problem with John beating his record.
Right.
Because records are meant to be broken. But do I think we're ever going to see that? No, not now in John Cena's career. A lot of people saying his match with Bray Wyatt is his last match of all time. I don't see that being the case, but I think it might be his last match for a while.
Well, I do too, and no disrespect against Bray or Cena, but WWE really didn't think that one out when they did it.
Now, when you say that, let me ask you a question, okay? Would you be saying that if you had never seen the Boneyard match the night before and thinking that that's what you was going to get again?
No, I wouldn't. I would still be saying it. But what I'm saying is, there was no logic to it. I mean, there was no wrestling, it's just like, poof, it's gone, you know.
I agree with you on the wrestling thing, but it took me some time to watch it a couple times. And like I said, now this is where we're going to get into debate. I'm not saying you're wrong, because you have the right to your opinion on this, but the logic behind it was, you've seen Cena get to relive things in his past, when he came out as Ruthless Aggression John Cena, and it was pretty much shown where he blew his opportunity to be Ruthless Aggression, because he was on the verge of getting fired when he was in that stage.
Right.
He came out as Dr. Thugonomics as a change, and he demoralized people with words.
Right.
And then to show him come out as NWO Cena, and that's the one that stood out to me, was that was his chance to play a heel. When have you ever seen John Cena play a heel?
Well, he's never played a heel that I know of.
I think he did for a stint when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics. But he has never had the opportunity to play heel, and he's wanted to. So, yes, there was no wrestling involved. And, yes, it makes you think, and it's a head-scratcher. But was there really any wrestling involved with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman this past time, too?
No, there wasn't, but
I think when it comes to Bray Wyatt, you're going to see a lot more mind game type of atmosphere compared to like the Undertaker or at Money in the Bank even.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say, because he's more of a, it gets into your mind and manipulates your mind, more or less, tries to, if he can, and that's, but I'm eager to see what's going to happen here, because we had on last Night Raw, we had Bray come out. Well, wasn't Bray. He come out as the Fiend.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss on SmackDown. Yeah.
Or SmackDown. I'm sorry. I got so many of them. I watch. Can't remember which.
It's hard to get them. It can get them confused really easy.
I get them confused. I was kind of watching there, and then I put it together where she played Sister Abigail in the match between Braun and Bray, and so I'm very eager to see how this is going to play out, how it's going to go.
I am too. I'm really looking forward to see. I think this Fiend character really saved Bray Wyatt's career.
Yeah, I do.
I think it will put him into the Hall of Fame if it's played right.
If it's played right. Now, when he first came out with it in the fun house, and I'm like, what is this? I don't want to, my kids are grown, I don't want to watch Blue's Clues again. But as I got to watching it, and got watching his character and things, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead and hit your number 2.
You had to go with Roddy Piper.
As number 2?
As number 2. He, the man was just crazy in the ring, and you just never knew what he was going to do. And I liked that. I like that. And like I mentioned before, he had battles with Jimmy Snuka. He had Snuka in the Piper's Pit one time and just waylaid him. It was, so they had their battles. But, and I looked at his career, he started backyard wrestling, worked his way up. He was an amateur boxer for a while. And he was just crazy. And I like his persona, the way that he played it, and the way that the fans took him.
He really hated Mr. T.
Yes, he did.
He did not like Mr. T, and it wasn't from a racist standpoint.
No.
So it was because he did not believe that Mr. T had the right to step in that squared circle.
That's right.
And there's a lot of older wrestlers that feel that way, to have athletes or actors step into the squared circle. That's sacred ground.
It is.
In the wrestling world. My number 2 was your number 10, which was Hulk Hogan. And the thing is, to see what he has done, it's because of him that started WWE the way it is now. Well, not now, but it really got WWE and wrestling in general on the map.
Well,
to the extent of which it would become a mainstream stay.
Excuse me.
You can't disrespect that regard. When he came back, I really got to see him when he came back in the 2000s. So he was already getting old. He was in his 40s or 50s, I believe, when he came back. And he was having back issues and things like that. Which is a fun fact I do want to put out there, because one of the dream matches that everybody wanted to see was Hogan versus Austin.
Yeah.
But I got this, I learned this when I was reading JR's, good old Jim Ross's book, Under the Black Hat. The reason that match never happened was not because Austin didn't want it to happen. It wasn't because Hogan didn't want it to happen for egotistical reasons. It was because the Austin was going through so much trouble with his neck.
Yeah.
And Hogan was struggling with his back so much at that time that Austin knew his neck and knee that they could not go out there and put on the performance that they needed to, because Austin knew that and there was no offense to Hulk Hogan, Austin knew he would have to carry Hogan during the match. And Austin knew that Hogan's style could not keep up with Austin's hard-nosed, fast-paced type of wrestling, where The Rock was perfect for it, because The Rock was so charismatic.
Right.
He could do, you could do anything with him, and he sold that match. And I don't think you would have got Hogan's pop like you against Austin like you did The Rock.
No, you wouldn't. And like you say, Hogan was getting older at that time, had a lot of back issues, knee issues. And that match put together, it wouldn't have been the entertainment that it should have been, because it would have to really be an intense match, because you've got, Hogan had such this hype build up through the years, and then you've got Stone Cold, so it would have had to have been a really fast moving match, and that's where The Rock come in, and it was an equal match, really. I mean, they were equally matched and could give a good
show. Yeah. And Austin, I don't know from a Hogan standpoint, but I believe Hogan was the same way. Austin is such a perfectionist in the ring.
Yeah,
he would not want to go out there knowing that he couldn't give you the best match out there. Especially when you put two names like that, the hype would have been built so much.
Yeah.
That the pressure on both men to put on that good of a show. Not saying that the pressure wasn't on with The Rock and Hogan, but The Rock could carry the load more.
Yep.
And not saying The Rock wasn't a perfectionist, but The Rock could improvise in the ring a little bit better.
A little bit more better.
Before we get into your number one, I want to remind everybody, because this is the longest video the Jamez Report has ever had, so if you're still tuning in, I appreciate it. If you like it, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you tell your friends about this. Once again, put your list down below who your 1 through 10 should be. Honorable mentions. Do you have any that you really wanted to put on the list and you just couldn't? It wasn't for you to put on the list.
Yeah, I had George the Animal Still, and they made a goof out of him, but he was really, I like to watch him, and there was just Booker T, and there's just so many that you just can't, and it's hard to sit down and pick out 10.
Oh, it's
10 out of the so many talents that's out there, that has been out there. There's just so many of them that you just can't, you just can't do it.
And for me, it's Ric Flair. And it's hard not to put Ric Flair on the list. It's like you said, it came down to a personal perspective for me of who I was entertained by the most. And I was entertained by Ric Flair, but there was something there for me that I just couldn't get into. And I always kind of felt like, and this is no offense, I know it's going to make people mad, that Ric Flair kind of always used to have a habit of stepping in when he didn't need to step in to things, because it is because he loves the business. I get that. But I just feel like sometimes, like now, he doesn't need to be involved as much as he has been. No. I agreed with him getting involved with Orton. It made sense. He's not been on here lately, but it made sense to the aspect. But he doesn't need to be involved in everything that goes on. But I understand it too.
Yeah, he doesn't. Rick's a fixture. We'll just put it that way. You if you don't see him, you just kind of look forward to seeing him. But yeah, he doesn't have the charisma, to see him in the ring or anything. He just doesn't have it no more, like he did.
Yeah. He was a big dude back in the day, though. I mean, built. People don't realize that he was pretty muscular before, I think, his accident.
Yep, and so was Shawn Michaels. If you see old videos of Shawn Michaels, he was a lot more bulkier. That was back when he was with the Rock and Roll Express and that. So,
that all being said, we're getting ready to wrap this up. So, Michelle, who is your number one wrestler on the list?
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley.
Mm-hmm.
Which version of Mick Foley?
Well, I like the Dude Love. I mean, it's hard to pick between, but Cactus Jack, he was more of the aggressive one, the hardcore nutty one, and a lot of people don't realize that he Undertaker and him wrestled, and he was on the top of he come off that top, and everybody thought there was a piece of paper here, but he actually knocked his tooth out and it went through his lip. He's had his ear cut off, but he still got in there and still performed. He never stopped, even with the match with The Undertaker. He kept right on.
I remember a story he was just telling us, I've seen on YouTube actually. He was talking about that match. And he said that, because Terry Funk comes in the ring
Right.
after he went through the cell. And Undertaker tells Terry, go check on him. Real subtle, because Undertaker, you can never tell what he was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And Mick Foley said the only thing he remembers from after falling through the cell, on top of the cell, because that was not supposed to happen.
No, it was not supposed to happen.
And was waking up and going, well, how the heck did that shoe get there? Because he had no idea that Terry Funk was in the ring checking on him. And he gets up and Taker told him go home, which was a wrestling term saying, okay, this match is over, just be done. And Foley said something, and so then Taker, being the professional he was, continued the match.
Right.
But yeah, you cannot replace Mick Foley is a legend, not just for the Dude Love, not just for Cactus Jack. Mankind is obviously what he's the most known for.
Right.
But his rivalry with Randy Orton and Edge back in the Ruthless Aggression, and Triple H for that matter.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of what's missing in WWE now with the hardcore style. You don't see blood. You don't see that. He would fit in very well with AEW. Not saying he's going to end up there, but his style back then would fit into AEW style today. But it would not fit in to the way WWE set up now.
No, if they get a cut now, it's like, oh my God,
One thing I want to point out too, speaking of that, does it bother you if the referees after every move has to get down and check on their opponent? Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, they could do a backflip and land on the back, and the referee's down there, are you all right?
Yeah, that bothers me. Because, let them wrestle. If the man ain't getting up after 5 minutes or whatever, you might want to check on him. But
and I get it if they go through a table. You want to make sure, okay, they fall off a 10-foot ladder, check on them.
Right.
But I get stuff like that, but I seen something the other day on SmackDown where AJ Styles and who'd he go against? Metalik.
Metalik. Okay.
And Metalik comes falling off the back ribs after AJ Styles pushed him, and the referee was like, boom, right there. And it's like, no, just let them sell the story. Checking on them and you're hearing them talking. I want to see the pain.
Yeah.
One, Metalik has a mask on anyway, so I can't see the emotions as well as I could on AJ Styles. Let the performers and the wrestlers be wrestlers.
That's the thing. They interfere too much. Let them be wrestlers. But I know this here, we're going to be cutting short here, but I do want to say I like seeing Big E move out. I like him in the group. I like him, with the New Day. But I think he needs an opportunity, and I think it's the right time to push him to come out on his own. And that's not to say he can't stay with the New Day.
Right.
But, because Kofi was with them and he was champion and that. But I think it's time for him to get out of that persona and move on into...
I would like to see him go for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what Big E can do in the singles realm. You see what Kofi Kingston could do in the singles realm. I don't think Big E's at a level where he could challenge for the WWE Universal Championship.
No.
But he needs to look at this opportunity because Big E's been very persistent that he doesn't want to move out of the New Day. They all have been. But you're in a business.
That's right.
And you're in a business where you need to be over in order to make money in the business.
That's right.
So he needs to look at this as an opportunity. Okay, I need to break. I need to show them that I can be who they want, who Vince wants me to be. Because ultimately, you can impress everybody backstage, but if you do not impress Vince, you won't go nowhere.
No, you're not going to go anywhere.
And the New Day, if they do stay the New Day, and Big E doesn't get this push, then I do believe they need to get moved to Raw, and they need to become heels again, because the good guy persona is starting to get a little old for me.
Yeah, it is for me too. The same with Drew McIntyre. He was in the Raw before. He didn't make it. He moved on to TNA. He's back this time. You see, he's moving up. It's a different Drew McIntyre than what it was the first time he was in.
Entirely different.
Entirely different.
Now, this probably goes without saying for me, because it's a shame that I'm about to hit you with his finisher because he's not even on your list. This is going to be so sweet that this man is on my list at number 1. Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? I said Stone Cold. What? Stone Cold. What? How do you not put this man anywhere on your list? You have Hulk Hogan on your list, but you don't put Stone Cold Steve Austin, the man that made the Monday Night Wars, who won WWE, the Monday Night Wars, and went on to become a great Hall of Famer, and arguably, in my opinion, and even in Ric Flair's opinion, so I have a little backup on him, the greatest wrestler of all time, from the sales to what he's done, and he still is one of the legends that comes back and fans are on their feet. They want to see him. He can't seem to put on a bad performance. Everything this man does, he comes out and kills it. He's going out there having fun now. He's going out there and enjoying himself. The last time he was on Raw, no fans were there. He's out there having fun, doing things. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm about to Stone Cold Stunner you right now live on my podcast. Why is this man not on your even on your tablet?
Hey,
He is, oh my goodness. You're not coming back on the show. You're just not going to be able to come back on the show. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Say goodbye to the people in the show. This will be the last time you see him because I'm about to give you a Stone Cold Stunner right now. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that share. And drop your top 10 list down in the comments below. See y'all later.
bye-bye.